very shaken with the news. We understand that our 5-game resume this year is not what we wanted. We have not been playing up to our capabilities, and even before this news, there were some hard conversations that were had.
We're learning what's next for the Badger football team as a new head coach takes the reins after Paul Christ was fired.
Plus, family, friends, and co-workers gather to say a final farewell to a Cottage Grove firefighter. A closer look at the impact he had on his community.
And a former local radio personality learns his fate after being charged with possession of child pornography. You're watching News 3 Now at 5. The Badger football team looking forward to facing a new opponent this week.
But something on everyone's mind today: how will the team move forward under a new head coach after Paul Christ was fired? Sports director Zach Hanley has more on what's next for the Badgers. Zach?
Yeah, the big thing Jim Leonhard has to do is get the Badgers, his players, and his coaching staff mentally back in football mode. Paul Christ was a huge reason why a lot of the current players decided to come to play at Wisconsin. Now, since the team found out about the move, they're understandably shocked, upset, sad, frustrated. You name the emotion, they're feeling it right now. So Leonhard has to get them to rally around each other and get ready to play at Northwestern in just 5 days.
Very open and real about where we currently are and what can we do to win this coming Saturday. And the timeline of this obviously is unique, stepping into this role and just kind of how that will shake up staff dynamics and understanding that we have to compartmentalize a lot of our emotions in order to give our players the best opportunity to win this coming week, because that's not getting moved.
Now, as far as the future of the program, Chris McIntosh said they're going to open up a nationwide coaching search once this season is over. And there's no doubt Badger fans want to look forward to what comes next, but there is value in reflecting on what Paul Christ meant to this program. Andrew Banster is outside Camp Randall tonight, and he spoke with fans, including one who has a pretty good deal of sympathy for the now former head coach.
The Badgers haven't fired a football or basketball coach since they fired Stan Van Gundy in 1995. That all changed with Paul Christ's departure as of his firing yesterday. And in stunning mid-season fashion, everybody has an opinion on it.
To Badger fans' students,
I was relieved. I thought it was time for it to happen.
The sudden decision to fire football coach Paul Christ came as welcome news overnight.
I love Paul Christ. He's a great guy, but the way the football program was trending, I think it was the right move to make.
But for those that have known Christ almost their entire life,
he put the players ahead of himself. And I think every player that played for him knew that.
John Roach grew up in the same neighborhood as Christ and remains a family friend. Roach wanted us to be clear. He is not a spokesperson for Christ, but thinks history will treat the coach favorably.
I do think there's the chance that folks will look back at Paul's record wistfully. There is no guarantee. Everyone wants to win the national championship. We have a better platform than most, thanks to Barry and Brett, not so much Gary Anderson, and certainly Paul, who did all the right things the right way.
Chris struggles, especially in Big Ten play, since losing the Rose Bowl in 2019. But he does carry the program's best bowl winning percentage and second best overall winning percentage in program history.
If you watch him, by nature, he's been a pretty humble head coach. Which I personally find charming and in his own way, really representative of the best of Wisconsin and of the Madison community.
Opinions are all over the place on such an unusual and groundbreaking move, but there is one thing that almost everybody that we spoke with can agree on. The Badgers are in good hands with Jim Leonhard. At Camp Randall, Andrew Banstra, News 3 Now.
We want to know what you all think of this. Was it the right decision or a big mistake? Tell us by taking the poll at our homepage at channel3000.com. So far, 56% say it was the right decision and 44% say it was wrong.
Zach, thank you. Let's get a look at your weather now. Chief Meteorologist Gary Canalti is on the weather patio. Gary?
Well, after a nice weekend, what way to follow it up, but another great day for today, Monday. Let's start out by taking a look at visible cloud track. Again, the air across southern Wisconsin has been dry. It's been dry all weekend. There have been clouds to our north and west, even some showers to our north and west, but southern Wisconsin remains mainly cloud and precipitation free. In fact, you can see the showers up toward South Dakota into western portions of Minnesota. Nothing heading in our direction, though. Low temperatures this morning, a little bit cooler. We dropped to 40 in Madison, even some 30s to the north and east of town, but mainly 40s to near 50 the farther west you go. Prairie du Chien only dropped to 49, and current temperatures range from the middle 60s near Lake Michigan, Milwaukee at 64, to near 70 in Madison, and then temperatures mainly above 70 over southwestern Wisconsin. We'll zoom into Dane County and see what the temperatures are here. 70 right now in Cross Plains, 69 in Belleville, and 69 the temperature in Oregon. Look for skies to remain mostly clear this evening. Very comfortable. Temperatures dropping to the lower 50s once the sun goes down by 10 p.m. And we'll see another nice day for tomorrow. Actually, probably a couple more nice days before big changes on the way for the end of the week. I'll have more on that in the forecast in a few minutes.
All right, Gary, thank you. And new at 5, a former Madison radio personality arrested for child porn last year has been sentenced to 3 years in prison. 42-year-old Matthew Jones, who went by Jackson Jones on the air, pleaded guilty to 1 count of possession of child porn this afternoon. He was also sentenced to 3 years extended supervision following his prison term. During sentencing, Jones apologized for his actions and the pain he caused his loved ones. And jury selection began today for the trial of Darrell Brooks, who is accused of killing 6 people and injuring dozens more after driving his SUV through a Christmas parade in Waukesha. Now, before prospective jurors were led into the courtroom this morning, Brooks repeatedly interrupted Judge Jennifer Dorough. He said he didn't recognize the state of Wisconsin or Dorough as a judge. Dorough called a recess and sent Brooks back to his cell. It went on like that throughout the morning, with Dorough calling Brooks back into the court only for him to again become disruptive.
A long line of fire trucks and emergency vehicles headed toward a Madison area cemetery today.
It really shows the impact a Cottage Grove firefighter and veteran had on this area. Tahlil Mohadeen was there for Nate Walker's funeral, and she joins us with what people had to say about him. Tahlil?
That's right. Those who knew Nate Walker say he was well liked by everybody in his department and was always willing to help others. Nate struggled with PTSD and died by suicide last month. People he helped wanted to return the favor today, supporting Nate's family. The 31-year-old leaves behind his wife Katie and his 2-year-old son Calvin and his 1-year-old daughter Charlotte. Since Nate's death, his peers at Cottage Grove Fire Department have helped raise more than $22,000 to support his wife, a fellow firefighter and EMS responder.
We know she's going to need some help down the road. She's very proud, and I know that she doesn't want to accept that, but she knows that she will need it for her family in the future. So we just want to make sure that they're set up going forward.
Nate served 2 tours in Afghanistan as a Marine, then worked at the Sun Prairie Police as a Sun Prairie police officer before joining the Cottage Grove Fire Department. Friends say Nate never shied away from his struggles with PTSD and often used his experience to connect with and support others.
Tahlil, thank you. Dane County Executive Joe Parisi introducing his 2023 budget proposal with community partners today. The proposal details the county government's plans for the coming year, including investments in basic needs, housing, mental health support, conservation initiatives, and more.
As we build upon and expand our commitment to criminal justice reform, the time has come to cement our commitment and state unequivocally that criminal justice reform work must be forever a priority of Dane County government.
Overall, the budget will total $834 million and increases taxes on the average Madison home by about $30. As housing discrimination complaints rose in Wisconsin after the pandemic started, one type of category in particular became more common than before.
Investigative reporter Naomi Coles joins us now to explain. Naomi?
New data from the state shows that in 2021, there were double the normal number of housing discrimination complaints in Wisconsin compared to the last decade. We're on the same track again this year, and the people who investigate these complaints point to one type of discrimination that's risen faster than others. That's sexual harassment and discrimination during the pandemic. It's now the 3rd most common type of housing complaint.
taken complaints from women who've been told that they need to send their housing provider nude photos in order to get a repair made.
Those women were very reluctant to come forward. They feared no one would believe them. They feared that the landlord would retaliate.
What's important to keep in mind is how much this type of housing discrimination goes completely unreported. It's a problem that groups like the Fair Housing Council work to investigate, and at times they end up in federal court. More on that tonight at 6 o'clock.
All right, Naomi, thank you. And right now, Hy-Vee stores are pulling certain cheese products because of listeria concerns. Stores across the Midwest are recalling Old Europe brand Brie and Camembert cheeses. There haven't been any reports of anyone getting sick, but the cheese has a best buy date ranging from September 28th through December 14th. You can find a list of specific products in our article linked at channel3000.com.
Today marked the beginning of the U.S. Supreme Court's most recent term with newly minted Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson. The court heard a case challenging the EPA's regulative authority over wetlands under the Clean Water Act. During this term, the court will hear cases regarding voting rights, environmental laws, affirmative action, and LGBTQ rights. Today was the first time in 2 years that spectators were able to return to the Supreme Court's gallery, as the public had been barred due to the pandemic since March of 2020.
Still to come, Gary has our latest forecast. That's next at 5.
Plus, search and rescue efforts continue right now in Florida after Hurricane Ian as the death toll continues to rise. And later, it's Pedestrian Safety Month, how you can maintain proper physical health, tonight at 6.
A strong start to the week for the markets. The Dow jumping more than 765 points. NASDAQ up to 40. The S&P 500 adds almost 93. We'll be right back.
At TSR, we transform your old, beat-up concrete into a beautiful, durable surface in one day. Hi, I'm Joey with TSR Concrete Coatings. We specialize in garages, patios, pool decks, basements, and more. We don't just coat over your old concrete. We start by grinding it down, then we apply the base coat and chip and seal it with our own proprietary sealant that will never chip or peel. Our coatings are beautiful, durable, ridiculously easy to clean, and are backed by our exclusive lifetime warranty. Our in-house team is ready to answer any questions that you have before and after the install. And right now on all projects, we're offering 15% off. Call the number shown below or visit our website for your new floor today.
One day floor. I worked in law enforcement for more than 30 years. I know what it takes to keep our community safe. Mandela Barnes stands with Defund the Police and supports no cash bail that releases dangerous criminals back into our communities. Barnes supports sanctuary cities and spending millions of taxpayer dollars on illegal immigrants. Take it from me, the bad guys belong in jail, and Mandela Barnes belongs nowhere near the Senate.
Senate Leadership Fund is responsible for the content of this advertising.
This is how it feels to do more with less asthma, thanks to Dupixent. Dupixent is not for sudden breathing problems. It's an add-on treatment for specific types of moderate to severe asthma and can help improve lung function for better breathing in as little as 2 weeks. Dupixent helps prevent asthma attacks and can even reduce or eliminate oral steroids. Imagine that. Dupixent can cause allergic reactions that can be severe. Get help right away if you have rash, chest pain, worsening shortness of breath, tingling, or numbness in your limbs. Tell your doctor about new or worsening joint aches and pain or a parasitic infection. Don't change or stop asthma medicines, including steroids, without talking to your doctor. Who knows what you can do when you do more with less asthma? Ask your asthma specialist about Dupixent.
Discrimination based on disability, race, gender, and more is keeping people from residing in homes. News 3 Now researches why housing discrimination reports have doubled. That's tonight at 6.
A family that fled their native Ukraine.
We are at our new home in the United States.
Susan Simon shows you how they've built a new life here thanks to the generosity of a Madison congregation.
We'll do our best to make it home now.
Tonight on News 3 Now at 10. You're watching News 3 Now at 5.
Welcome back. President Biden visited Puerto Rico today to survey damage caused by Hurricane Fiona. The Category 1 storm left widespread damage when it crashed into the island 2 weeks ago. Fiona left over 3.2 million people without power and caused massive flooding. Today, the president toured the southern part of the island, which was hardest hit. He promised communities that help is on the way, announcing more than $60 million in funding to help coastal areas of the region.
We know that the climate crisis and more extreme weather are going to continue to hit this island and hit the United States overall. And as we rebuild, we have to ensure that we build it to last.
Power has been restored to 90% of the island, but thousands in hard-hit areas are still without electricity or clean water. Damage in Puerto Rico is estimated about $3 billion, but officials warn that figure will likely increase.
Well, search and rescue efforts continue down in Florida after Hurricane Ian devastated dozens of communities. The death toll continues to climb. At least 94 people now confirmed dead, and more than 500,000 customers are still without power. Jason Allen now with more from Englewood, Florida.
Just park your trunks, stay in your vehicles.
The National Guard is handing out critical supplies to storm-weary residents at distribution points like this one in Englewood, Florida.
What is it that you guys are most in need of?
Water. An irony lost on no one, as flooding and storm surge from Hurricane Ian transformed lives and landscapes. Boats are piled on top of buildings in Fort Myers Beach. The entire area now deemed unsafe.
The water level is above the roof. The whole thing is, this is everything we could salvage. It's our lives.
Damage assessments are ongoing, but more than 500,000 customers are still without power.
That is a goal that they are trying to hit, to have all customers that can receive power by Sunday of this week.
Thank you so much.
In the meantime, residents are toughing it out.
If we can just survive with generators, and as long as the Guard is doing such a wonderful job of bringing food, water, and ice in, we'll be good. We'll be good.
On Gasparilla Island, just miles from where Ian came on shore, the winds were strong enough to strip the trees bare. The homes that are built right here along the beach, they're still standing, but on some of them, the entire second story of the house is gone. While cleanup is underway, there are questions about the timing of evacuation orders, leaving officials on the defensive.
72 hours before the storm, we still were not in the cone. Lee County wasn't.
By the time we heard it would hit here, it was too late to leave.
Matlacha and Pine Island residents are effectively trapped after Ian wrecked the only thoroughfare.
We are working with FDOT to begin the construction of a temporary gravel bridge to get people on and off the island.
The governor's office says more than 1,600 people have been rescued since the storm, and crews are continuing that mission this week. Jason Allen, CBS News, Englewood, Florida.
Now, on top of dealing with the mass destruction, police are warning Florida residents about possible FEMA insurance scams. Orange County officials, that's Orlando, they've had several reports about people posing as utility and tree removal workers.
The effects of the storm are far from over. Ian is expected to make a big dent in Florida's economy, which could impact the nation's economy as well. The hurricane damaged several tourist spots in the state, including theme parks and beaches. It also caused major disruptions in energy production and crops in the region, especially in Florida's citrus industry. Strong winds and flooding damaged several crops. Well, let's get a look at our certified most accurate weather. Here's Gary Canalti with the forecast.
Well, we've got some nice weather. It's been here all weekend, and it'll continue for a couple more days before temperatures turn colder at the end of the week. 3 things you need to know. Mild weather again for tomorrow and Wednesday. High temperatures both days right around 70 degrees. There'll be a chance of showers Wednesday night and Thursday morning. Not a big chance. Could even see a sprinkle as early as late Wednesday afternoon, but that's probably the best time for rain, and it's not a very high chance, probably around 30%. And then that chilly weather arrives for the end of the week. High temperatures drop back around 60 on Thursday and then down into the upper 40s by Friday, with lows by Saturday morning down to around freezing with widespread frost possible. Over the last 72 hours, including the weekend, you can see rain across parts of northwestern Wisconsin, much of northern and central Minnesota, back into the Dakotas. But as soon as those showers try to get closer to La Crosse, boom, they just hit dry air and just fizzled out. And so we stayed dry, of course, all weekend with plenty of sunshine. Doppler track right now, a few sprinkles of rain dying out across west central Wisconsin and northwestern parts of the state. A few more showers back across South Dakota and western portions of Minnesota. Tropics continue to be active. The eastern Pacific Ocean, what's left of Hurricane Orlene moving into Mexico, but now we have Tropical Storm Payne out to the west of Mexico. In the Atlantic Ocean, no named tropical systems. This one has about a 30% chance of development in the next 5 days. This one about a 70% chance of development in the next 5 days, about a 60% chance in just the next 2 days. Weather track across the country, because of what's left of Ian just sitting along the east coast and this weather system out to the west, high pressure is formed in between, and that's right where we are. So that's kept us high and dry for a while. But eventually, as the remnants of Ian move off to the east, this weather system will start moving closer and give us at least a chance of showers, but it'll be followed by colder weather. Notice the cold front out to the west, eventually starting to move eastward. Probably won't reach us until sometime Wednesday night, so it'll be a slow mover. For the time being, winds are light, but they're generally out of the south and southeast. Temperatures are in the 60s here, 70s out to the west of us, and we should be around 70 for the next couple of days. But on future track, you can see those clouds starting to approach from the west. Will be partly sunny for the day tomorrow, but the thicker clouds will start to arrive as we head into perhaps Tuesday night and Wednesday, and then the best chances for any showers probably reaching us sometime Wednesday night into Thursday, and again, not a very high chance. Planning your night, look for mostly clear skies, low dropping to 44 in Verona, 42 in Cottage Grove, and 43 in Stoughton. And across the rest of southern Wisconsin, 46 for the low in Lone Rock and 44 in Camp Douglas with partly cloudy skies. For tomorrow, look for a high temperature of 70 degrees, partly sunny skies, mild conditions, 7 to 10 day forecast, down to 60 on Thursday after that 70-degree high on Wednesday, and then only 48 on Friday with a low of about 48 early Saturday morning. Notice those temperatures starting to climb back up closer to normal, maybe a shower or thunderstorm chance by about Wednesday of next week. But with the cold weather coming in, reminder, Coats for Kids runs until October 8th. Make sure you bring any new or gently used coats to Clinky Cleaners locations. They'll clean them up and give them to the Community Action Coalition for distribution later in October. First warn traffic right now, things look pretty good. Here's the view of the traffic at the Beltline. No problems there, just a minor slowdown around Monona Drive. Right now, traffic moving pretty steadily in both directions on the Beltline. About a 15-minute trip either way between University Avenue and the interstate. Heading out of Madison, 24 minutes from the Beltline to Janesville on I-3990. A quick 16 minutes from Middleton to Sauk City on US 12. Downtown to Sun Prairie on East Washington Avenue and US 151 takes you 19 minutes. That's your News 3 Now First Warn traffic.
Gary, thank you. Commuters in Taiwan are now able to watch their food come to life right before their eyes. With more consumers concerned about where their food is grown than ever, a company called Metro Fresh started using technology to regulate light, temperature, and the best nutrients for its greens. The greens are grown underground, an indoor farm within a capital city subway station. Metro Greens vice president said many people's biggest fear when having greens is possibly consuming insect eggs because the company's produce is completely indoors. There's no threat of bugs and no need for pesticides. The process uses 95% less water than traditional farming, but does come with high energy costs because the farm is in the city, though. The transportation costs there are cheaper. Well, here we are. October already. Too early to start that holiday shopping? Apparently not. And retailers have noticed. The story next.
News 3 Now First Warn Weather is brought to you by Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor.
Discover a shopping and design experience as comfortable as the furniture. Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor. Schedule your free design consultation today.
The radical left hate America and riot in our streets. They indoctrinate our children to hate America, stoking fear and envy with their lies and deceptions. Their radical woke agenda and divisive politics are tearing our country apart. Here's Mandela Barnes.
Because the founder of this nation, awful.
Mandela Barnes is a radical leftist. He supports their woke agenda that's causing you and your family so much pain.
I'm Ron Johnson, and I approve this message.
Clean, safe, fun. I wanted it all when we needed daytime care for Mom. Oh, Grace's new adult day center is so nice. Now she goes twice a week while I'm at work and loves it.
A Grace, caring every step of the way. Start saving on your automotive needs now at Menards. Get superior engine protection with Valvoline's Max Life Motor Oil. This oil is formulated to protect vehicles with higher mileage to keep your engine running its best. All Valvoline motor oil is 11% off. Protect your boats and recreational vehicles with RV and marine antifreeze. Its burst-proof protection is formulated to defend freezing temperatures down to negative 50 degrees. Pick up a gallon for $2.99 after 11% off at Menards.
Save big money at Menards.
Mass shootings, school shootings, and violent crime are on the rise. And Ron Johnson is making things worse. He abandoned law enforcement, voting against funding for the police, preventing local departments from hiring more officers, but supported flooding our streets with guns and making it easier for violent criminals and domestic abusers to get them. Ron Johnson is failing to keep us safe. Every Town for Gun Safety Victory Fund is responsible for the content of this ad.
It's our biggest sale of the year. Get back to your health and fitness goals by joining Anytime Fitness for just $1 now through October 7th. Let us help you turn no I can't into yes I can. Now through October 7th, join Anytime Fitness for just $1. Hurry in today.
Wells Fargo lets you know where you stand with your FICO credit score. What if you knew where you stood with everything, like your future in-laws?
Hope you like cats.
I hope your parents like me. They're whispering.
The kitties like her.
Oh, can they tell I'm allergic? Tears of joy.
Welcome to the family.
Like knowing where you stand? When it comes to your credit score, you can with Wells Fargo.
I worked on the force for 30 years. I've seen plenty of politicians, but Mandela, he's the real deal. Mandela doesn't want to defund the police. He's very supportive of law enforcement, and I know his objective is to make every community in the state of Wisconsin better. I trust him to get the resources that we need to keep people safe and to reduce crime in the first place. As a retired cop, I want someone like Mandela. Mandela is the right guy for the job.
I'm Mandela Barnes, and I approve this message.
You're watching News 3 Now at 5.
Well, it's only October. It might seem too soon to think about holiday shopping,
Definitely
but inflation is changing that precedent.
Yeah, a recent survey found 38% of consumers are starting to shop earlier than in years past. With the shift in consumer sentiments, retailers are taking notice.
Retailers are coming out of the gate as early as possible because consumers may be holding their money tight to the vest. The good thing about early shopping is you're spreading your shopping out over multiple pay periods if you have a job, right? So it's a little bit less impactful on your immediate budget.
Items like video game consoles, holiday gift sets, and winter apparel will be less expensive later in the season, so it may be smarter to hold off on those purchases. But because of excess inventory, things like casual clothing, furniture, some electronics, and toys are priced lower now. This season, doing research on what you plan to buy for price comparison purposes will be crucial for consumer savings. We're back with a final check of your First Warn forecast in just a moment.
Did you know Tim Michaels said people shouldn't be openly gay in public?
But I think when you bring it out of your house and onto the public street, that's where I differ.
Is that the kind of divisive radical you want as your governor?
Introducing the Planet Fitness Guide to getting that post-workout glow. Step 1, what's your why? More epic energy, better sleep, blow off steam? Step 2, join Planet Fitness for $1 down, $10 a month, cancel anytime, and get moving. Go cardio crazy in our clean and spacious clubs. Jam out on the strength machines and get down with some dumbbells. Step 3, bask in that post-workout glow. Join Planet Fitness today for $1 down, $10 a month, cancel anytime. Deal ends Friday, October 14th.
I'm Ken Pearrett, and this is my John Deere. We run about 3,000 acres of crop ground and 100 head of beef cattle. Number one thing that stands out when it comes to Sloan's is service. And we had some issues with the new ExactEmerge planter, and Kyle himself, the store manager, and one of the lead mechanics on the planters, came down on a Sunday afternoon, and they got us going. And that's going above and beyond. And that's why I think Sloan's first.
Ron Johnson and China. Here's how it works. While in the Senate, Johnson made $57 million from a family business whose growth was directly linked to China. He invested in Chinese factories, and Johnson's family business got $50 million in loans from the Bank of China. Johnson pushed for shipping American jobs overseas while he got rich. Ron Johnson's out for himself, not us. SMP is responsible for the content of this ad.
Now is the time to switch to Spectrum Internet. America's leading internet provider just got even faster, with speeds now starting at 300 megabits per second. Faster speeds to game, faster speeds to stream, faster speeds to work or learn from home. All with 99.9% network reliability. Get Spectrum Internet for just $49.99 a month, plus a free modem and free online security software. Call 877-906-9192. Add advanced Wi-Fi to get enhanced security for your home network, automatically blocking outside threats to your devices. If it's connected, it's protected. So no matter what you do online, you can do it faster, safer, and more reliably with Spectrum. Now is the time to switch. Get Spectrum Internet with faster speeds for the same great price. Just $49.99 a month with starting speeds of 300 megabits per second. Visit Spectrum.com to find out more or call 877-906-9192.
Did you know Tim Michaels wants to criminalize abortion, even for pregnant rape victims?
But you wouldn't support exceptions for rape or incest?
That's correct.
Is that the kind of divisive radical you want as your governor?
Gary's back. We got a final check of the forecast. Beautiful start to the week.
Yeah, how's this for a picture? There's a live view from the WISC Skycam. Not a cloud there, and just a couple of cirrus clouds in the distance from the Platteville Queen Bee Radio Skycam. Temperatures are pretty comfortable. A little cooler closer to Lake Michigan. Low 60s there, but closer to 70 out toward the Mississippi River. In between, Madison right now is at 68.
Nice day out there. CBS Evening News coming your way next. We'll be back in 30 minutes for News 3 Now at 6.